Hi everybody, I'm Todd Banner. Welcome to my channel. Well, the G9 Mark II has some additional photo styles, also known as color profiles and such. So there are a couple of new monochrome profiles, and actually I think one of them showed up in the more recent Lumix cameras like the S5 Mark II and maybe the GH6. Used to be you had the monochrome photo style, and if you go back to earlier Panasonic, Lumix, Micro Four Thirds cameras, they just had that one profile. And then in 2016 with the GX85 they added the L Monochrome profile, and after that they added the L Monochrome D profile, which I think was in the G95, but I think they did a firmware update to put it onto the G9, original G9, I think. But the G9 Mark II has L Monochrome S and Leica Monochrome. Now, I was under the impression that the L in L Monochrome kind of hinted at it being a Leica-esque black and white profile. Give you sort of the same results you'd get with a Leica black and white film camera with a Leica lens. But who knows? So because, and actually there are a couple of new color profiles, which I think I'll talk about in a different video. One that I'll mention is the L Classic Neo, which evidently is supposed to give you results similar to color print film. So what I thought I would do is do a real quick test of the monochrome profiles in our neighborhood semi-abandoned graveyard. I say semi-abandoned because I don't think anybody's been interred there for decades, at least as far as I can see on the headstones, but it is being maintained. Grass getting cut and so on. So I went out one morning using the G9 Mark II, the 12 to 35 millimeter Lumix lens. I shot a series of images with those profiles. So monochrome, L Monochrome, L Monochrome D, L Monochrome S, and Leica Monochrome. Exposure was ISO 100. Kind of nice that we have the base ISO now of ISO 100 in a Micro Four Thirds camera. And 1/125th of a second shutter speed, f5.6. And I'll say right up front, L Monochrome S is interesting because it's bright. And I looked it up, and it's supposed to get, it says what Panasonic says is it gives pleasing results for portraits. Haven't had a chance to check that out yet. So here are those, quickly, those monochrome profiles. I'll be back with a follow-up. So those are the Panasonic Lumix monochrome photo styles. One other thing that I didn't mention as we went into it is you have the ability for the monochrome profiles to set a color filter setting. So remember that with black and white photography, you used color filters to give various effects. So if you wanted, for example, you know, Ansel Adams was known for dramatic skies, and you know, if you had a blue sky with cumulus clouds, you know, really a lot of contrast by really white clouds and really dark skies. And that's generally done with a red filter, because obviously the red filter is not going to let blue light pass, but it'll let all of the light except for blue from the clouds go through, which is enough to make the clouds nice and bright. You can do the same thing with digital in a monochrome setting. Canon, I believe, my Canon said that same thing with monochrome. You could tell it what kind of filter you wanted to emulate. So that is in your photo style settings. That's just a little quick thing about those monochrome photo styles. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I try to get to those as soon as possible. I'm Todd Banner. I will see you in the next video.